Hey boys and girls, we're talking about slide again. I'm going to give you a few more tips and a few more things to complement the other video. So we talked about obviously positioning the slide, so remembering a center line point on your slide. Obviously finger placement was something that we also looked at, and we looked at tuning and different tunings you can have as well. Essentially again, so wrapping up on that, your tunings can obviously be an open strummed chord or something really bizarre. There are quite a lot of topics online that you can find, and a lot of guitarists will experiment, so you can always have fun. No right or wrong. If it sounds good, use it. Now we're looking at some of the techniques I use, the sounds you can make, hammer-ons, pull-offs, harmonics, sliding into something, sliding out of something. What I might do is actually teach you all maybe just something in standard open tuning that maybe you can practice with and get started by using the slide. So essentially, let's look at what you would be playing. So set a rhythm. If you have a backing track, great. If not, whatever. We're just doing a 12-bar blues in here. I just love doing 12 bars of slide. I just think it's really fun. So if you think... that sort of feel is what you're looking for. I'll probably make it sound completely different to the rhythm anyway, but if you have something like that, great, play it. Essentially, think of a solo. You really want to hum out a melody line in your head. Here's an example of something that I would like to just warm up with when I play with slide. And I think I've got a video or two of this sort of thing anyway. So I would first look at my right hand. We're looking at the E and B string, so nice and tinny. Obviously, I will talk about distortion at this point. Use a bit of distortion, but for the sake of the video, let's make it clean. So I've got no distortion now. I'll turn my volume right up, and I'll try not to hit the cymbals or the drum kit as I do. Here we go. So. So yeah, obviously it's a different sound. I don't have the distortion to rely on, so I'm not going to get some pretty dodgy sounds out of that. It's very clean but very tinny. So what did I do there? So I led into these notes, but with the slide. So I started with the B string and slid in from about the 2nd fret to the 3rd. So I went, then I rang the E string to let it ring. Then played it open. So there, the equivalent of using the notes is on the G string, on the G note there, pull off. And you just do that with the slide. So you're just alternating E, B, B, E. So open B. Now you can alternate, do up and down, in and out, around that area, experiment with it. Then you basically move up to the A, so sliding up to an A when it's time to do the A. There's so many bars, do an A. So I just slide both notes into it. B again, then let the E ring, and use a bit of sustain. So the sustain there is just essentially shaking that very center line back and forth, just a smidgen. So you're basically like 1 millimeter off the fret, 1 millimeter above the fret, and shaking back and forth, balance like a tug of war, like a seesaw balancing on the very centre line. So the other way to get the sustain is to shake vertically up and down along the centre line. So with a bit of distortion, you can maintain almost like a violin or a bowed sound, which is really cool with the right effect, like a doubling effect. You get a pretty freaky sound. That's pretty cool. So and I just drag it right up to the 12. Time for the B. And then remembering our scales. So essentially, that's the sort of thing you can experiment with. There are other things you can try and do as well. You can also get into some finger picking things. Don't want to show myself off here now. I don't even think I can do it. But let's just say you were sort of. I've seen all sorts of things you can do with slide. You don't actually have to just sit on those two strings either by any counts. You can always. Of course, you've got the old. Bad as a bone. So that's basically it in a nutshell. If anyone has any questions, then just reply to the video or send me a message and I'll try and answer it. See ya.